home.
Affirmative.
Don't text me, I'm not gonna get it.
Affirmative.
Oh, okay.
Affirmative.
So if anyone needs anything,
Come downstairs.
yeah.
That was the original one. When it came out, it was 23.
Okay. We should be live.
It is 7 p.m. on the 18th of March. This is a select board meeting. Before we start on the agenda, I would like to pass a message of appreciation and thanks to everybody who voted on Tuesday past. I think that's one of our most simple responsibilities, and I deeply appreciate people who did so. And I'd also like to extend the thanks and gratitude to all the folks who did the setup, stood around all day and took care of the process and made it work. And so my deepest appreciation and heartfelt thanks to all of you that engaged and participated. With that said, the first item on the agenda tonight is a selection of a select board chair. So I guess we'll open it up for nominations at this point.
Voting on it. As one more chair.
Do we have a second?
I was going to, but, second.
All in favor? Well, in that case, I guess I'm sitting in the chair. So all darts and rounds can come in my direction. The next thing we have to deal with is board representations. We have boards that the chair, or the board, we have committees, commissions that the board has to be engaged in and have a representative of. I would like to move to the planning board with the concurrence of the other members. Good?
Yes.
Okay. Michael, do we need a vote on that? No, just a concurrence. On the Conservation Commission, Mark, would you want to stay on the Conservation Commission?
Yes.
Okay. That's, I'm handling the welfare and the Lamprey Regional Co-op. And it's self-explanatory, and I'll give you plenty of briefing on that as the funding for that, the welfare issues, and how we handle that. The Lamprey Regional Co-op is a quarterly meeting, and it deals with our tipping fees, et cetera, up at the landfill. And so there's, once a quarter, we go have those meetings, and they're all very happy. Okay. And I think that's it as far as that goes. Board representation. Next item of prior.
One question.
Go ahead, sir.
The planning board,
Yep.
Catherine had shown an interest in being the representative for planning board.
I'd be interested in doing that. Is it just the liaison to the meetings?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, then it's 2-1, if that's the way you want to do it. I have a strong interest in it, but I would prefer if you want to do that.
Yeah, I'd like to do that.
Okay. So we'll flip that around. The next item on the agenda is the ALS contract. The ALS contract has been working for a long time, probably since September of last year when we found out it was being terminated. The official turnover will be the 21st of this month, and we need to get this signed and get this black back to Plastow, so that we are engaged. There will be no cost incurred by the town for the first year. We owe a special thanks to the William H. Donner Foundation, which is covering our expenses for the first year, and it will be making an additional donation as of now for the second year. With that said, I'll make a motion that, you have any comments on the contract,
No.
or any concerns,
No.
obligations, anything like that? I will make a motion that we sign this contract and move forward with the ALS intermunicipal agreement for intercept services.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next item on the agenda is the Department of Environmental Services, CWSF Summer and Pleasant Streets. We've got the approval from DES to move ahead with the project. Mr. Reserve, would you like to speak to this, please?
The issue behind this, the scope of the changes to Summer Pleasant. We had to rewrite the scope. So DES just approved, we had to go through what's called PBS, volume-based selection. They approved HGA to do it, which we had voted on to go ahead, you guys had voted on. So now they're looking at the contract. Once that gets approved, the details of HGA will get worked out, and we should get rolling. It's been a long process. Basically, they have a lot of little boxes to check. I'm hoping probably within a month that we get moving. So that's what that project is. The rain gardens, there's the other project, rain gardens. That you have to go through a process with them, which is called basis of design report, and they would waive the BDR on that. So I changed that. I wrote all that up. That's going to get approved. I think that has to go to the commissioner to get that approved. Then that should get rolling. I said this last year, I think at the same time. But the scope still changes and things are rolling slow. Kind of along that line, I'm writing the yearly response to EPA on stormwater. I'm going to try and get that out. I'll bring it to you guys next month probably. I'm working with Brian, and a lot of this is maintenance on EMPs. Brian and I are going to go up and look at some of them. We have some thoughts that we're going to bring up at the next meeting, but that's kind of where it is. The one thing I do have to tell DES is that who the new chair is, so you're going to start getting, you'll start getting that. So Catherine, I don't know if you're too familiar with it. I always send you some documents so you understand, we're part of the spray page general permit, you signed on to it. So that means we have to touch base. I'll send you what for. You got the same emails or
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you have any questions, just, we can talk about it. There's a huge file out there. You don't want to. So I'll send you the stuff, and then it should be pretty self-explanatory. But when you read the permit, don't get locked in the technical aspect. So I'll do that this week.
Thank you.
Good? I think that's it.
Bill, how long do you think it's going to take for the engineers to run this?
Well, when I talked to Marisa from HGA, she said once, this is a two-part. It's the study phase to say that the flows on the corner 85 and 87 are getting treated, and we get credit on this other system, the PTAP system. And then we're doing part of this is a conceptual design for the collection system on Pleasant Summer. That money's been approved, and that's going to go on the town maintenance budget. But we want to get HGA to do a conceptual design. It's not going to be a full design. So that, and she said, give her 3 or 4 weeks on that. So once you get DES to say, yes, that the scope is approved, they'll be able to.
Do you think this will fit into the calendar for the summer?
Yeah, because I think even if it moved into the fall of construction, it's probably a 6-week construction phase.
Okay, because I talked with Brian about it this morning, and he was a little concerned about timeline.
Yeah.
And if you can get with him and get that locked in, so he's got a ballpark idea, so he can tentatively plan ahead.
Yeah.
So you're thinking maybe in June, we should have the green light?
Well, yeah,
I mean, it's total wag. I
Yeah,
understand.
I mean, who knows? I mean,
Okay.
we go back and forth with them and try to push them, and it's just, I think they have things they do very poorly up there. You can't get in, if you're in the queue, you're in the queue.
Okay,
I mean, in my professional career, we did some of these would take three weeks to do a EDR with them, so, this is a short one, but it should take a couple hours.
okay. Any other comments, observations, thoughts from the board?
No.
All right. Next item on the agenda is a request for a tax abatement. Leaving the name off of this, it's within the protocol that we will accept a request for a tax abatement if it's submitted by 1 March. This was submitted on 5 March, did not meet the window for the tax year. So my recommendation that it can be resubmitted for next year, but it's not be accepted for this year.
How much is the abatement for?
Yeah, it's on the, reading through it.
I think it really gives a dollar figure.
The issue is I see it with this document, or with this request for the abatement, is we have a process in place in compliance with the process, and regardless of the situation, the failure to meet that date is what controls, in my opinion. If we didn't have a hard deadline, we can be getting these all year, all through. So we have a procedure, and a protocol in place, and I believe it's in the best interest of the town to follow that procedure and protocol.
Fine, I would say. Say fine.
I'll make a motion that we not accept this tax abatement due to the fact of lack of timeliness.
Second.
All in favor of that?
Aye.
The next item on the agenda is the annual equalization rate. So, in 2023, we had a reevaluation of property. Properties were assessed at 100% of valuation. And in 2024, it's been dropped down now, where instead of being 100%, we'll be at a 92% and an 8% reduction. And that's just a heads up. There's a letter that you should have from the DRA, Department of Revenue, dealing with that, and you got that. So that's just an informative item for everybody, unless there's some questions on that, and they can direct those either to Sue or Mike. All right, next item. CSX Railroad Squamish Street construction. So Chief Young and Lieutenant Blaze and myself had a discussion with CSX last week, and they're going to be replacing the ties and the rails and the blacktop down on Squamish Street. And that is going to be a weather-involved project. It's going to take 3 days of work to do so. And they do not know whether they're going to be starting around the 7th or the 8th or the 15th or the 16th due to their contractual agreements with their labor crews. As we become more cognizant of what's going to transpire on that, the information will be passed to the town, and there will be emails sent out by the town. There will also be signboards will be posted, and it will be posted on the Facebook pages. What it's going to entail is that anybody who lives on railroad or needs to access or egress from Railroad Ave will have to do so where it meets 85. And because you can't make that turn to head towards Exeter coming off there, you have to either go up to the intersection of the Irving or the post office office or wherever to make that 180 so you can train, go in the other direction. So that's just an update on that. All right. Any questions on that issue? No? Okay. The next issue we have on the agenda, we received a demand letter from McLean Middleton representing the abutters on Piscassic. And I'm acknowledging, and the board is acknowledging receipt of that letter. That decision was based, in August of '23, was based on guidance from the State Attorney General's office and the Charitable Trust Division, and that was the decision made. As far as moving forward, we'll now turn it over to Town Council to deal with their response. So that's the update on that. Anything to add? Anyone?
No.
Okay. While we're going down the agenda here, April meeting dates. I'll go bang this out while we got it here. So our last one is on the 18th of March. Is the 8th and the 15th work? Good for you.
8th and the 15th.
No, I'm sorry, correction, 8th and the 22nd.
Yeah.
My boss. You still good?
Yeah, that should be fine.
Okay. All right, Keisha, 8th and the 22nd. Jumping down, in the next section, we have a request for veterans exemption, and that's PA 9 map 210 lot 1. If you review that, in my review of all the documents here, everything appears in order, and I would make a motion to approve this veterans exemption request.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So now we get to board appointments. And the first one I have on the stack here is from the chair of the ZBA, recommending Tom Grella and Betsy Coase to continue their appointments on the Board of Adjustment. Michael, do I need a motion on that?
For what?
Yeah. I'll make a motion that we appoint Betsy Coase and Tom Grella to the ZBA.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The next position to fill in this stack here is from the chair of the Conservation Commission, Jeff Kutcher, for the nominations of Chris Chandleris, Lori, and Josh Smith. I'll make a motion to accept those.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Okay, next is for the appointment of the building inspector, Larry Shaw. I'll make a motion that we put Larry Shaw back in the building inspector position.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next we have the appointment for the overseer of the landing. And I'll make a motion that we reappoint Lynn Freeman to that position. The next one is for the road agent. And I'll make a motion that we reappoint Brian Pipson as the road agent. Have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The next one is for a vacancy on the planning board. I'll make a motion that William Zerb be reappointed to the planning board. Have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And the next one is for John Hayden, reappointed to the planning board. I'll make a motion to reappoint John Hayden to the planning board.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And I'll make a motion that we reappoint Bill Reserve to the Rockingham Planning Commission. All, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'm sorry, who seconded that? Mark?
I did, yeah.
Thanks.
Prior meeting minutes from 4 March. Anybody have any issues with prior meeting minutes? Take a minute if you do. You all set there? And I'll make a motion, we accept the prior meeting minutes as written.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Takes care of that. The next item that we have coming up is the noise RFP. The town, as everyone is aware, is being sued for lack of enforcement. This is one of the ongoing issues. There are numerous violations and complaints on file both with the police department and with the select board. And the lawsuit alleges the town has failed to enforce the noise standards as in place. The requirement exists for to have subject matter expertise perform the noise monitoring. Informal noise monitoring was in place, and there was obvious and repetitive violations of the noise limitation. The limitation on that, in discussion with council, is residential uses of 60 in the daytime, 50 at the nighttime. And for us to fail to follow through with this noise monitoring when we have a hearing on this matter on 2 April, in a motion to dismiss the town's engagement in the lawsuit, will demonstrate bad faith to the court and kind of leave us in a soup sandwich. The event season is rapidly approaching. We funded this in the budget for this year, and I will open it up to discussion of the board.
Okay, so after doing a little research on some other noise monitoring services that would be appropriate, there is one that had done some noise monitoring for Prescott Park when neighbors were complaining about the music, and I had reached out to Eric Reuter, who has 25 years of experience doing this. I asked him just to give me a ballpark as far as the quote goes. Said maybe somewhere around $3,000, absolutely nowhere near 10,000 or 18,000 or whatever that number was. So I'd like to explore talking to him to do this. It seems like he has a good amount of experience already doing this with neighboring, with music and neighboring complaints. So we should reach out to this service due to the lower cost, obviously.
Can I ask a question? Is there a certain number of events per contract period that's included in that price? And then we would set up dates, and it wouldn't necessarily be limited to any one particular noise complaint Deadline, it's a service that once we contract with, we can use it.
We said 4, right? There were 4 events?
That's what's in the RFP.
Right, so when I mentioned that to him, he said it'd be somewhere probably around 3,000, even if it was 5. We'd be way under the,
Right.
that.
Well, one of the things I'll offer in response to that, I appreciate the financial aspect of it. The RFP was issued on 24 January 25, and the submission was no later than 28 February 25, so this has been in place since January. And bids closed on 14 March 25. It would have been beneficial if you were cognizant of this gentleman that had brought this forward prior, because what I'm seeing is I'm hearing a verbal proffer from this firm to do the work, but I'm not seeing anything that comes even close to it. In fact, it has not been submitted, and that time is of the essence of this matter. This has put the board in a conundrum by this late addition to moving forward on this project.
Sure, this was brought up in prior meetings, so. And I'll gladly give you his contact information. And if you want to go ahead and spend $10,000 or $15,000 with that RFP, that's,
I think you're putting words in my mouth here, Mark. What I'm saying is, the RFP went out. He was totally able to get the RFP, and if you were cognizant of him and had forwarded that information, then he could have submitted a bid as required by the 28 February 25
Yeah.
deadline.
once I did see that RFP and saw that number, I reached out to this gentleman. So, that's the solution, to look at some other bids and not spend a ridiculous amount of money on this.
And the last meeting, it was deferred.
Yes.
As far as moving forward on the contract. Has this firm seen the RFP? Have you
No.
submitted it to them?
No. I didn't think that was necessarily, the RFP or the quote. I did not forward that quote.
No, not the quote. I'm not talking the request for proposals, but that was
I'll
issued
forward it.
in January.
Sure.
Well, one of the issues I'll ask, and I have no issue with saving monies on this topic here. However, time is of the essence on this matter.
Right.
Court date is on the 2nd.
So we have to set a deadline
Well, the deadline was, I mean,
for five.
you know, we set procedures and policies in place for a reason, so that we can accommodate the legalities and meeting the responsibilities of the board. And a last minute dropping in the dime, again, I appreciate the fact that we're trying to save money here, and I fully support that. But at what point do we go, oh, we'll just throw this all out the window? And again, the issue is if this resource was available, had he been contacted earlier, then he could have complied with the process.
Yeah, I
And he
guess.
has not, and the initiative to get him to comply with the process has not taken place until recently.
In order to take a final action on it, we would need to meet again. Is
Right.
that true?
Yes.
And that would be before the end of March.
I'll forward him the RFP. I'll ask him to move quickly and give a quote, and then we'll decide on it.
And we'll also need, not only quickly, we'll need all his background, his history, and his professional standards and ratings and skill set. Because if we hire somebody that does not have that, then we're just spinning our wheels and failing to meet the responsibilities we have.
It's 25 years' experience.
You would have to reopen the RFP. You can't just go and close an RFP, you think it's in deadlines unless somebody else come in. So, I mean, there's state statute on that stuff.
Thank you.
So let's reopen it
With the deadline.
with a deadline.
Do I hear a motion?
A motion to reopen the RFP for the noise ordinance.
I'm sorry, as a citizen in town who actually understands that the town's being sued, we've been talking, the board talked about this for 6, 8 months. We all knew an RFP was going out. We went through the process and approved the RFP. It's not like this came out of left field and happened. I can appreciate the idea of, there may be other vendors out there, but giving a verbal quote as opposed to quoting to the specs in the RFP that are very specific about location, number of events, and everything else. I think the town would be putting themselves in a bad position with a hearing coming up to punt once again before the court and say, yeah, we're not gonna, we don't know when we're gonna monitor for noise, we're putting this back on the street. Because it will be easily another 2 or 3 months, which means you're gonna be into the season before you get your RFP done. As somebody who's sitting on this side, knowing that we are being sued, I just can't believe after all the work that has gone into this, that the board is considering kicking the can out already.
I think we're stuck with what we have.
Hmm?
In the interest of time and constraint regulations, we're stuck with what we have.
I'll make a motion that we accept the bid as put forth, and it is on the table that met the deadlines as posted.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed? So it's a nay 2-1. Next item on the agenda, Quinn Court survey. Mr. Lawrence, we did not budget for that this year, and I would make a motion that we table that until next year.
Will the road remain in its current condition?
I will talk to Brian. I don't know the answer.
Most of it right now is down in the neighborhood.
I can't, I'm sorry.
Most of the problem is down in the neighborhood with Brian Plowman. I mentioned that.
Some of it's in my front yard. As it was discussed when Brian first came in, I speak generally for my neighbors, if the road pavement stays the same place and the same width, we're okay with it. But it would be nice eventually to go forwards with the survey and definite town boundary lines for the road. Road condition is poor to atrocious. So please consider repaving, if you will, at the same dimensions the road exists now.
I will speak to Brian about that and push that, see what he can do to work that out.
If our gas truck wasn't there the other day, it would have been a little more evident the condition, but up at the front, it's pretty
Oh, there's a
bad.
pretty good crater up there, but.
Yeah, there's 2 craters.
I visited there and walked it. It is atrocious. It's not safe for walking on.
All right.
Thank you.
Michael?
I will point out that the town did pass a capital reserve item that actually provided money for roads, so if it doesn't fit into Brian's budget, you may want to consider utilizing that for these types of situations. That's why we did it.
Thank you, folks. Next item on the agenda, 399 Wiscasset. There's 2 abandoned vehicles there that had been there for quite a while. We had those towed last week, those are gone. And the vehicle that was on Railroad Ave next to the train abutment had been there 4 years. We sent a demand letter to the owner of the vehicle till the end of March, and the vehicle has now been recovered and is no longer parked there, so that issue is squared away. I want to compliment Jeff Feenstra for the diligent work he has done for upgrading the audio-visual systems. He came through and they got all the hardwiring done for the upstairs, and they changed the switch box downstairs, and he has researched and found a new audio-visual camera system, which he is going to get a loaner for us, and we'll be able to try it out and move forward and see how that works before we move forward. So kudos to Jeff for stepping up and solving the problem. Another issue, article that's coming up is the elementary school has developed a formula formulated a Newfields Elementary School Safety Committee, and they're looking for 7 to 8 volunteers, I believe it is, to sit on that and work through the project for a year. If anyone is interested, they have to submit their name and a short CV no later than the 31st of March by 3 p.m. So if anybody has any issues with that. Next thing we have to do is we have to sign the MS 232 after the election, stating that everything we put in the budget was passed and that we're good to go. One other thing I want to address is in regards to zoning amendments 1 and 2. In the process, in December and January, there was an extensive amount of hearings and work and meetings that was done to do all the homework in the background to ensure they complied with both all RSAs and meeting the definitions of a restaurant and meeting the definitions of a drinking establishment. The concerns that were raised by some, as far as precluding a child from having a lemonade stand, were addressed fully and clearly in both the minute meetings, attending the meetings, and reviewing the audio-visual information would have demonstrated that. So the fact is that the planning board, in conjunction with the chair of the ZBA and also select board member input, did all their homework, and allegations to the contrary are absolutely false. That pretty much covers the, I do have another one. New Road Bridge. This is turning into quite the GoPro. So, for those who are not aware of it, when the causeway burned, CSX Railroad was taking equipment down to the causeway to be able to fix it. And one of the devices they took down was a log truck. And when the log truck went through, he didn't have the boom all the way down, and he hit the bridge and split a 9 by 16, I believe it is, carrying beam, and just sheared it in half, and then split the next one, and bowed the next one. Our town engineers came out and looked at this and said it was safe for single lane travel. Subsequently, the state came and said, this is the state's bridge, this does not belong to the town. And we went, okay, so you own it. CSX had said, we did it, we're fully responsible, and we will either do it ourselves or we will pay to have this bridge fixed. So I had a conversation with the state this week, in fact it was yesterday, and the state says, we're not going to fix the bridge, we're going to reduce it to one lane travel only. And the response to them was, CSX is paying for this. And they go, we don't care, it's at the bottom of our bridge list, we don't care. You guys want the bridge, we'll give it to you. And, thank you, but no thank you. And so I have gotten a point of contact and the names of the people that are in charge of bridge maintenance. And so I have talked to Chief Young about it, I've talked to Chief Buxton about it, and the objective is, and I think the plan of action will be to draft a letter, and Newmarket is also involved because it's more of an impact on Newmarket than it is on us. And if there's an issue on Route 108, and then the 108 is closed, it's the only way to come through unless you go, halfway to Vermont back. So we're going to address this. We're going to run this up the flagpole and see if we can get through to DOT the fact that the repairs are paid for. It will cost the state nothing to let them go ahead and do it, or because I think that maybe now have CSX do it because the state doesn't want anything to do with it. Matter of fact, he said, I'd just soon close the bridge. How long ago, Jeff, did we have those piles of sand there? It's a while ago.
20 years ago.
Yeah. And even though I raised the fact of, emergencies and traffic, and when they shut down 108 to do the bridge over the railroad track, they go, That's an ongoing issue.
Is it, do I understand it right, it's the state that's the problem? I mean, I'm sitting here and thinking, let's see the execs fix it. It just, they're claiming responsibility.
And they said, and what they said, Ken, was that they would either pay to fix it or they would fix it. So,
They will.
you know, now we'll go back to them, but the state, it's their bridge, and so if they don't want it fixed, they have the authority to say, no, we're not gonna fix it. So,
But they'll give it to you.
oh, they'll give it to the
They'll give
town.
it to the town.
Yeah,
Then the town will pay for this, keep it up.
Well, the town will get CSX to fix it.
but then we own it.
Meanwhile, we're flipping calendar pages over.
We don't want all that.
No, we do not want that bridge in any way, shape, or
Oh,
form.
I get that, yeah.
So, anyway, that's the update on the status on that, and I will keep everybody appraised on that.
If you're gonna be talking to DOT, will it matter to mention that the corner of Lee Hook and 152 to Newmarket will also be closed for 4 months? So that's gonna be an undue burden on traffic, Newfields to Newmarket, especially emergencies. Maybe that will help to escalate the concern.
I'll throw that in there.
Thanks.
It's insanity. And that pretty much covers the agenda. One thing I'd like to do for the board itself. Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry, Mo.
Mr. Chairman, have you asked Newmarket if they want to own the bridge? Because they probably do.
We have, that question has not been asked, but they have been engaged as far as what's transpiring.
Now, it would require probably a change to the town line. Well, I don't know, maybe they could just own property in Newfield and own the bridge. But I would be willing to bet dollars to donuts that Newmarket would be more than happy to take over that bridge. Because
Especially,
they are far more interested in keeping it open than anybody else.
especially because they have two development issues going on.
There's a new development potentially coming in there,
One's a 55 plus
Yep.
Senior, and then there's another one that's.
which is a quarter mile up the road.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's a good point, thank you, sir. One of the things, just as some board homework, I would like it so when the board members attend their meetings, whether with the planning board, the conservation, at the next select board meeting, they give a thumbnail sketch of what transpired, of anything of note, so that all board members are cognizant of what has transpired and anything to go back, for the other board members to go back and review what any other issues are. Along those lines, when we have tasks that we've taken on, if we will work to ensure the rest of the board at the subsequent board meetings what the status is and what has transpired, so that we can help move things along and preclude delays. And I think that's about it. Does anybody in the audience have anything? Chief?
Contract, you're gonna take care of it?
Yes, that's signed, and that,
Last page, I don't want anything, just last page of that contract, that's all he wants.
okay.
Okay.
All right, but I talked to the donor who's in charge of the foundation that is donating this year, and he said, you haven't turned that in yet? And I said, no, because we have a protocol that we have to follow as far as going through a select board meeting. It will be done tomorrow night, which is tonight, and then it will be immediately up to Gladstone. Guaranteed. And if you have to drive it up, I'll give it to you.
No, I mean, you don't have to drive it. Just-
No, I'm just kidding.
And the second thing is, did you get the information to Chris, that he requested this week? You a copy on it, Alex copy on it?
Oh, yes, that's all taken care of. That is all taken care of. And like I say, the handover will be on the 21st, and I think it's at 1 o'clock at the Gladstone Fire Department. And I will be there for it. No? Where is it? Brentwood.
You
Thank
can
you.
go last up you want.
Hey, I got so many pieces of paper coming out, I have to have it in front of me.
Just make sure you have a copy on it when you send it out, if you email it out, don't go on,
Yeah.
make a copy on it, so.
And then what I'll do is I'll email him, screenshot, and then we'll hard snail mail or a hard copy to him to make sure it's taken care of.
Perfect. Yeah, I'm gonna try to be there.
Do I dare?
Oh, yeah, this is good then.
This is the new.
So, as I had raised it over the winter, you know, we had the skating rink that would be coming down, everything that now probably this weekend. But I've been trying to get power dropped there, and the problem was all the poles are taken up by Consolidated or a cable company, and so Eversource won't do another job. But I talked to Consolidated, and they're willing to basically move out some of their terminals, leave their meter there, and then once that's done, we just need to talk to Eversource and have the meter turned over to the town, and we can then have outlets at the field.
Great for Memorial Day again.
Yeah, for Memorial Day and everything else. So, Consolidated is going above and beyond here. It's great. I'll continue to coordinate with them, but at some point in time, the board is going to have to work with Eversource to get that transition over.
So you continue to run with that ball?
Yeah, and I'll let you know who, when and who you need to talk to basically do the transition, but the town would then be responsible for that meter.
All right.
Thank you, Michael.
Last chance. 3, 2, 1. Do I hear a motion to adjourn? Oh,
Signatures for the.
yeah. All right.
That's how you can sign checks, right?
Yeah.
Well, the auditors are here today.
Am I still on the account?
No, I took
10%, like.
the next day.
I'm surprised it wasn't that evening.
I was finished.
Well, Friday.
Yeah, you can't sign yet. You did? So you can sign the manifest, you can't sign check. Okay. And that's fine.
Okay, I'm gonna try this again.
Great motion to adjourn.
You just made it? I'll second it. All in favor? Aye. Thank you, folks. Please continue to show up. I understand what it is. I have no issue, I just wanted to just make sure.
One thing I have made, which is really incidental, is that what individual is needed as a question? Give me one example.
Mark,